For more on this case, we bring in ABC News contributor and Royals expert Victoria Murphy. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Victoria. How important was today's court hearing?
Hi there, good evening, Lindsay. Well, this was a pivotal moment in the case against Prince Andrew. His lawyers have been focusing their attentions on trying to get this case thrown out, and this was their chance, their opportunity to make their points in court over why they thought this should be the case. I have to say, listening to the hearing today, it did sound very much that Judge Lewis Kaplan was being very heavily scrutinising some of the points that Prince Andrew's lawyers were making. One of the points he completely shut down straight away. Prince Andrew's lawyers were saying that Virginia Giuffre should be more specific, more detailed about her allegations at this stage before disclosure. And the judge simply said, that's not going to happen. She's not required to do that by law. He also raised his own questions about whether or not this settlement agreement, which Virginia signed with Jeffrey Epstein, can actually be used by Prince Andrew's lawyers to stop this case against him from proceeding. Having said that, he hasn't made a decision, and he said at the end of the hearing that he would do so pretty soon. So we're now very much at a crossroads, and this will either proceed to a trial or it will be halted in his tracks. So a very pivotal moment for the Prince.
And as you said, we're still waiting for the judge to rule on whether this case moves forward. But even now, at this point, what has this all done to Prince Andrew's image?
Well, this has already, Lindsay, significantly damaged Prince Andrew's reputation. These allegations are very serious. And what you've had going on in the background of these legal proceedings is, of course, the court of public opinion. And that is not to be underestimated, because it was public opinion in itself that led to him actually stepping back in 2019 when he gave that disastrous TV interview with the BBC about his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. And that was way before this legal action, this particular legal action against him, had even been brought by Giuffre. But to a certain extent, what happens now will really determine where public opinion lands on this. If this proceeds to trial, then of course you have ultimately all of the damaging information that could come out as a result of a trial. And the most damaging outcome would be, of course, that he is found at fault. But if this case is thrown out on a legal argument, it doesn't completely turn things around for him. It avoids that trial, it avoids that worst case scenario outcome. But I think for a lot of people in the court of public opinion, for him to be fully rehabilitated, what he needs to do really is tackle these allegations head on, protest his innocence as he has done outside of the courtroom. And unless that happens, it's very difficult to see how he can completely rehabilitate his public image and resume royal life as he was doing before.
And how has the royal family coped with all of this? What's the impact on the family standing in the UK at this point?
Well, it's been significant. The royal family is very aware of how damaging these allegations have been for Prince Andrew particularly, but also for the institution of the monarchy generally. Their strategy has been to totally cut him loose. The Queen's lawyers are nowhere near this case. He has his own legal team. He has his own PR team. And he is no longer a public face of the monarchy. He has not appeared publicly for more than 2 years now with the royal family, apart from at his own father's funeral. And that really tells us everything we need to know about how they understand just how toxic his image is to the institution. I think what's interesting is that we're seeing that Andrews is polling very badly with the public. It's a bit more difficult to get polling on the institution generally, but actually the individual reputations of other royals do not at this stage seem to have been affected, opinion polls show. We're seeing them polling William, Kate, the Queen, still very popular as they have been in previous years. So don't seem yet to have been directly affected by this.
So outside of not having him make public appearances with the family, is there anything else that Buckingham Palace can do at this point to try to limit the damage? Could they strip Prince Andrew of titles or military honors, for example?
Well, they can do those things. He still does have his royal title, the Duke of York. He could be stopped from using that. In order to take it away completely, that would have to be done by Parliament. And he still lives within the grounds of a royal residence. He lives in the grounds of Windsor Castle. That could be prevented from happening. But you might say that those things actually are relatively sort of detailed, small details in comparison to having him step back from the public face of the monarchy completely, which he has already done. And I think, that raises a fundamental point here, which is that what you can't do is remove him from the family. He is the Queen's son, and that will continue to be the case, and this will continue, therefore, to impact on the royal family. She presided over him stepping back. She's made it clear that she does not back him as his boss, but as his mother, of course, she still supports him personally. We've seen her out riding with him, and that highlights really the conflict in this situation and why it will continue to cause damage for the monarchy.
Right, the mother versus the Queen, two very different roles to try to balance there. Victoria Murphy, we thank you so much for your time and insight.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.